All right, guys. Oh, man, I don't know what is happening with this frame rate, but let's see if this works. All right, as you're joining in, go ahead and drop me a comment. Let me know. You guys can see me, hear me, all the things. Just having a little technical difficulties tonight. It's all good. Hopefully this will regulate itself. So if you're joining, first of all, welcome. Please drop and let me know, is it, okay, current frame rate is too low. Please set the frame rate for 15 to 60 FPS or viewers may experience lower quality. If anybody knows what the heck that is and how to fix it, is it glitching? Like, is it flashing for you guys? Who is smart with this kind of stuff? uh, okay, Courtney, awesome. Thank you. I'm glad you can hear it loud and clear. That's great. I don't understand why. Nope, much clearer. Okay. Okay. It's not glitching. Fantastic. It is like blinking incessantly on my end. So I'm going to lean on you guys. What do you mean same, Kim? It's blinking on your end? Let me know. I have no idea how to viewer. Well, we'll see if this works. Hi. So glad you guys are all here. All right, friends, welcome in. Drop a little, okay, cool. Yeah, I'm just gonna like not pay attention to my face on that, which is fine. I don't usually anyways. I just want to make sure it's not a bad experience for you guys. That's my most important thing. So, guys, welcome. I'm so sorry that we are 10 minutes starting late. I appreciate your patience in getting things I had literally everything lined up perfectly and then, technology and all the things. So, it's all good. Act like everything. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Thanks, Courtney. I appreciate it. If you are watching the replay of this and it is glitchy in any way, shape, or form, my bad. I have no idea what's going on. But we're just going to roll with it tonight, ladies. So, first of all, welcome. I am so glad that you guys are all here. I just want to thank y'all for just showing up over the course of the last week. Your comments, your input has been just like, it's been amazing. So thank y'all for joining this group, for being a part of this. And if this is your, your first time checking out one of these live trainings, welcome. Glad to have you here. And make sure that you go back and check my first live training that is pinned in the featured section of this group. It's got some amazing insight and information. I think it'll be super valuable for you. We're going to dive right into some of the live training tonight. I'll announce the winner. Okay, a little bit later, but not yet. You got to hang tight with me for a while, and then I'll be announcing the big scholarship winner and the partial scholarship winners as well. And I'm also going to save some time today for some Q&A. So use the comment section, you guys. I do have it open, so I will be checking it. Please, 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 please communicate with me in that in the comments if I freeze or anything goes haywire for whatever reason. All right. But welcome in, folks. All right, y'all. We're going to dive in. I am going to touch just kind of a quick little recap on last week. If you watched last week's training either live or you watched it post the training, drop a yes, thumbs up, watched it, loved it in the comments. I would love to know who all has seen that first training. If you were like loved it, liked it, hated it, thumbs up, anything like that, drop a quick comment in that comment section so that I know how many of you guys have actually seen that. I would love to know. Yes, nice. All right, cool, cool. Couple of you, yay! Good, 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 good. Y'all can keep dropping those as you're checking this out. So, a little recap on that from last week. So, number one thing we learned about you guys was what? Anybody know? Let's see if y'all can remember the one word. One word. Let's see if you guys can remember. What is the one key thing that we took away from last week's training? The thing that we're struggling with, the thing that is like holding us back from weight loss, from understanding our bodies. Like, what is that one thing? Does anybody know? Oh, yeah, like, oh no, we didn't know there was going to be a quiz. Yes, Courtney, for the win. Good job. So cortisol, guys, cortisol. It is the number one thing that is causing you to feel frustrated in this new phase of life, right? And when, just kind of a quick recap, when cortisol, which is a stress hormone, right? When it is elevated, when those levels are elevated, it's going to negatively influence, AKA decrease, all right? It's going to decrease our estrogen levels. It's going to also decrease our thyroid function, and it's going to increase our insulin resistance. It's going to increase the inflammation in our bodies, and that's going to, a lot of that's going to cause or lead to digestion issues, bloating, cravings, energy crashes. If I'm preaching to the choir right now, you're like, yep, me. Then you know what I'm talking about, right? Oh man, Kim, can I just say negative self-talk? Yes, I feel like I'm going to side note for a hot second. If you joined or watched that last training, I started you guys off with like closing your eyes and picturing, right? Imagining. Negative self-talk, I feel like it is probably as detrimental as like elevated cortisol levels. Thanks for pointing that out, Kim. I agree. Because it's just as it's just as harmful. Yeah, it is. Yeah, little side note on that one. Um, Backtracked. So all of these things, when we're talking about the elevated cortisol levels and the decrease in estrogen, decrease in thyroid function, increase in inflammation, and so on, all of this is gonna together create a decreased or irregular, not well functioning metabolism. Definitely a decrease in metabolism and an overall just dysfunction of your metabolic system. All of this in turn is going to cause, you to burn less calories at rest, and it's going to also cause you to hold on to more belly fat. If you've heard kind of the term like that menopause belly, you're like, what the heck? Like, I'm doing the same thing I've always done. I'm eating the same way. Nothing's really changed. And I woke up one day at 42, 45, 48, 52, whatever. And all of a sudden, I have this belly. Like, where did that come from? I've literally haven't changed anything, right? That's what this cortisol is attributing to. Now, I'm not sure if we talked about this last week, so I wanted to bring this up today. Okay, you froze. Yeah. Hopefully, Lisa, hopefully it regulates itself. I wanted to bring this up today. I'm not sure if we mentioned this last week or not, but something that is important to note, especially if you are pre-diabetic or diabetic, when cortisol is high, it is also pumping glucose, okay, aka sugar, into our bloodstream to provide that energy in that fight or flight mode. All right. So if you think about times in your life when you either you're scared or something startles you or you almost get in a car accident, whatever, cortisol level, boom, it spikes really high, and that puts you in that fight or flight mode. That's what the stress responder hormone is for, right? And where we want to be more often than not is in the rest and digest mode, not in the fight or flight mode. All right. And so when cortisol levels are elevated, where you go into that fight or flight mode, it's pumping glucose, sugar, into our bloodstream to provide energy for that fight or flight mode. All right. And so if you're constantly living in that mode of fight or flight, elevated cortisol, stress response, you're going to become more insulin resistant, which is also going to increase fat storage in the body. All right. Then that struggle of getting rid of that fat. So be mindful of that. A lot of people think like, wow, I've always been a go, 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 go kind of person. Ladies, I get it. If you've known me for any amount of time, you know that I am like a let's go, let's do the things, constant. And I will tell you, I can't function that way as much as I used to in the way that I used to, if that makes sense. So that constant need to be on the go and um, eating while I'm standing and working all together, I am genuinely noticing how that is affecting a lot of things, not just weight gain, but my like cognitive, how my brain functions. I can really, really feel a difference. And so um, I a couple tricks. I'm going to be sharing some of these like in our next training, but I think I mentioned this last week. We talked about like just take 5 minutes, like literally set your alarm for 5 minutes. I promise you spend at least 5 minutes scrolling on your social media at some point in the day. Take 5 minutes and just put everything away and close your eyes and breathe. You can also, one of my favorite things is to lay on the ground. Obviously, if you're at work and that's weird, don't do it. But you can lay on the ground with your feet up on the wall. It's going to take the blood out of your extremities. It's going to slow the heart rate. It's going to slow kind of the mindset and your breath as well. 5 minutes and then get up and continue on with your day. Having those little resets throughout the day, even if you just did that once or twice a day, will make a major difference. So just wanted to throw that little piece out there for you guys. And if you do, oh, we should start like a hashtag feet up fun thing on social media. That'd be hilarious. If you do take these little tips and tricks, a little advice with your feet up on the wall in the middle, drop a picture in this group because that would be so much fun. And we can be like, oh, I'm doing my feet up right now too. Okay, last little recap from last week. When now, now that our bodies are shifting into this place of perimenopause and menopause and just this new chapter, this new phase of life, you're already going to begin experiencing a dip in estrogen levels. Because remember, if we go back to last week, if you haven't watched that video, I highly recommend you watch that video. I talk about the follicles that we're born with, how they begin to die off at different stages in life. But our estrogen levels are already beginning to decrease no matter what as we're moving into this phase of life. And here's the real kick in the pants, ladies. You ready for this? Because we're losing that hormonal buffer, estrogen levels are decreasing. We're already we already have a much lower threshold to deal with stress in the first place. So cortisol is going to end up, those levels are going to spike a lot more easily than they used to before. So if you've noticed, like, I feel like I lose it, or I cry at the drop of a hat, or I get so much more frustrated so much more easily, or stressed more easily, you're not alone and there's nothing wrong with you. Let me like repeat that. You're not alone and there's nothing wrong with you. All right? I mean that from the depth of my soul. It's not, you're not crazy. Okay? As those levels are decreasing, your estrogen levels are decreasing. Cortisol is, you're not going to be able to handle it. You're not going to be able to like filter it quite as well. So if we're adding insult to injury by what? Eating low calorie, cutting out carbs, over exercising with too much high intensity, those things aren't going to work for us anymore, right? It's too stressful on the body, and it's just continuing to keep those cortisol levels at that elevated state. So it's like it's just adding insult to injury. We did talk last week about how to minimize that roller coaster ride of changes that are occurring. So definitely go back, check out that first live training. It'll be super, super insightful. Okay, drop a quick comment in the chat here, or in the comments, you guys. If you are someone that is curious, I know you're here because you probably are, but does it really matter when you eat? I'm curious if you're like, oh yeah, for sure. Actually, I have no idea. What is your comment? Drop it in the comment section. I want to know. Does when you eat really matter? What is your thoughts? I would love to know. Yes, no, maybe. Drop a comment in there for me, guys, so I know. And then we're going to dive right into that. Does it matter? Or does it really matter when you eat? Okay, Kim says, I think it does. See what else we got. Curious. If you're watching this, the recording, feel free to comment as well. Would love to know. Sarah says, yes. If you're watching, drop a quick comment. Yes. Okay, cool. All right. But with caveats. Okay, all right. Sarah's catching on. It's like you know me or something. Okay, so does when you eat really matter? I want to address something first that's super important that I'm going to be reminding you guys of often. Like, often. Why? Because I love y'all, right? One, you are not, and I repeat, you are not the 20-year-old version of yourself. Okay? But, but, that doesn't mean everything should suck from here on out. Okay? Listen to me when I say that. And it also doesn't mean that there's no hope, y'all. Some of you guys, I love y'all, but some of you are like, I'm old, I give up. Like, this is just my life and it has to suck from here on out. No, it doesn't. Okay? That's why you're here. You're here to learn, right? I'm pretty sure you guys all had to answer that question of like, I'm here to learn and my mindset is open and I'm here to learn, right? Okay. So I say that with all the love in the world. You are not your 20-year-old self, and that's okay. You are also not, and I repeat, you are not a professional bodybuilder. You're a professional athlete. You're not a bodybuilder. You're not a sports performance competitor. You're probably not a meathead gym rat that's trying to hit PRs all the time, right? And if you are, this is probably not the group for you. That I can refer you to someone who, several other someones who would be a great fit for teaching you how to work with your metabolism and your hormones in those phases. That is not this group. So just putting that out there. So as a reminder, you're not a professional athlete trying to hit these PRs and things, and you're also not your 20-year-old self. All right. So does food timing really matter? Honestly, y'all, it doesn't really matter, but just like Sarah said, there are some caveats. So there's a few simple rules that we're going to talk about today. We touched a little bit on this last week, and I'm just going to kind of bring them back into one that I don't think that we talked about. First simple rule is eating within 45 minutes of waking, within 45 minutes to an hour of waking up. Look, your body doesn't know if it's 46 minutes or 61 minutes, okay? But within about an hour of waking up, you want to eat, you want to consume good protein, carbs, fats in the first hour of your day. Why? This is going to help to bring down those cortisol levels. We know that this is a huge issue for women, particularly as we start going through menopause. All right. If cortisol levels stay elevated from fasting, Claire, I haven't been fasting. Yes, you have. If you're sleeping for more than 4 or 5 hours, right? Hopefully we all are. You're in a fasted state. And some of us eat dinner at 4 p.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m., whatever. You're looking at a good 8 to 12 or more hours of no nutrients, unless you're waking up in the middle of the night eating or sleepwalk eating. That's a real thing. I'm not picking on that. That's a real thing. It does happen. But if those cortisol levels stay elevated from fasting, and then you're also having coffee on an empty stomach, aka elevating your cortisol levels, we are going to see inflammation, insulin resistance, fluid retention, negative effects on the thyroid, progesterone levels, and other side effects that are going to continue to contribute to that stubborn belly fat. So eating within about 45 minutes of waking up is crucial to this phase of life. All right. Um, Number two. So second thing is going to be a pre-workout snack. And I've been talking with some of you guys about this. I mentioned it last time on our training, but why is a pre-workout snack important? It's not the end all be all, I will say. And there are some caveats as far as when you're working out. If you're a super early AM workout person, it might look a little bit different than if you're an afternoon or middle of the day workout person, okay? But a pre-workout snack, why is this important? Women, particularly going through this menopause, perimenopause phase, this new chapter of life, right? We're not 20 anymore. We have a hard time accessing the energy stores that we need to do. So when we are in a fed state, we can do a much better job of accessing those energy stores. All right. So having like a carb and a bit of protein before working out will help. A really good option, you guys, that's super simple is fruit. Fruit is a great option. A banana, a small apple. Maybe some mixed berries and like some Greek yogurt if you want, or cottage cheese. Actually, I'm going to backtrack on the dairy thing. Dairy before working out is not like it just doesn't typically sit well with people. And it can cause like phlegm. So if you're doing, workouts at your breath, your heart rate or your breath is elevated, that may be, if you notice that, maybe just nix the dairy. All right. Everybody's a little different. So it is important to kind of pay attention to those things. But fruit is a really great and simple and easy option. Um, Number three, all right, is going to be your post-workout snack. So if you have to choose between pre and post, all right, post is definitely going to be a more important than pre, but they both are good options to do. But your post workout snack is important. Why? Having carbs and protein post workout is going to help replenish those energy stores that you just burned through when you were working out. It also, listen up, it also lowers your cortisol levels. Yay, we want lower cortisol levels. And then you're also going to have the increased ability to shuttle those carbs into the muscle cells instead of storing them as fat. Okay, so having that post workout snack meal within 30 minutes, 45 minutes or so is super important. Again, my favorite, I talked about this last week, my favorite is sweet potatoes. You can do them as sweet potato chips. You can do them as mashed sweet potatoes, whatever. I love those. And a hard-boiled egg or two. They're very easy to travel with those things. Very easy to have in your, gym bag or, have it already prepped and ready in the refrigerator. That's my go-to for post-workout. And then lastly, you guys, is going to be a bedtime snack. We talked about this last week, and I love this. Having a small snack about 30 to 60 minutes prior to bed is going to, let me backtrack. Having a snack that is comprised of a slow digesting carbohydrate, all right, and I'll talk about that in a second, and a protein is going to help lower those cortisol levels, and it puts your body into that melatonin producing sleepy hormone, right? And it helps you to fall asleep faster. The fiber from those slower digesting carbs plus that protein, that's what's going to help stabilize your blood sugars so you don't wake up in the middle of the night from a blood sugar crash or a cortisol spike. If you are someone who is starting that phase of like hot flashes, struggling to fall asleep, struggling to stay asleep, right? Try adding in. I know I've talked to some of you guys over the last week who have started implementing this thing, little snack before bed. I would love to know, have you implemented it and have you noticed a difference? Drop a quick comment in the chat if you have. And I would love to know those of you who have started to implement that. If you haven't, I would recommend, especially if you struggle. If you're like, I fall asleep fine, Claire, I don't have any issues. Awesome. More power to you. Lucky you, right? But this is a really, really great and simple, Kim, I love it. Simple thing that you can add in that will help in those sleeps. Sarah, Kim, great. I love that, y'all. So these are two people so far who are like, yes, I've started it. Yes, I've noticed a difference. Such a little shift that you can do. Yeah, absolutely, Dawn, for sure. I love that. Okay, so where are we at? Time. Okay, cool. Now, I did mention that we're going to talk a little bit about the protein struggle bus and ways that you can get more protein in without killing your fat stores. So I'm going to throw a little something on the screen here, a protein list. I'll pop over here. All right, so I actually put together a couple pages, couple things for simple protein options that don't crush your fat goals for the day. If you would like a copy of these, I'm going to put a link in the comment section for y'all. Just fill out it's literally your name and email address, and I will shoot that over to you in an email. So it'll be just this lovely little like graphic. You can save it in your phone, keep it on hand when you go to the grocery store. If that is valuable to you guys and you're like, yes, that would be super helpful, I would love to gift that to you guys. So I will drop a link to that in the chat or in the comment section right quick, and feel free to fill that out. There we go. And that will shoot a message over to me, and I'll get that emailed out to you. So this is based on the 4 ounce, like a 4-ounce serving, unless it's otherwise noted. All right. These are some really great protein options that won't overdo in the fat compartment or the fat department. All right. Chicken breast, obviously, you guys, you've got lean ground turkey, shrimp, pork tenderloin. Yes, it's surprisingly, yes, you can still have pork, my ladies. Tilapia, light string cheese, of course, if you're not dairy intolerant. Light, that should say ground beef, not ground beet. I'll fix that. Deli ham, deli turkey, that type of thing. Eggs, of course, y'all. Eggs is like the most magical food I feel like on the planet. If you're allergic to eggs, my heart breaks for you. Chicken thighs are also a great option as well. And then we've got ground bison, whey protein powder. I'm going to give a caveat to that. I know my body personally does not process any dairy types of things at all, whey, milk products, anything at all. So pay attention. Don't just do whey protein because the internet says to drink or have whey protein. All right. Find the thing. If it bothers him, you notice your belly bloating, especially immediately after consuming it, then maybe that's not the best fit for you and you not for a plant protein source as well. Um, oops. And then you've got beef jerky, cod, canned tuna. You can also do the packets of tuna. Those are a lot easier for on the go. Egg whites, of course, and then non-fat Greek yogurt. So those are just a good number of protein sources that are easy that you can incorporate into your meals. All right. Claudia, I don't know. I know I don't get enough protein. How much should we be incorporating daily? Great question. So I actually, I actually talked about this on the last training. You want to aim for about so 0.8. You want to aim for about 0.8 up to 1 gram of protein per how much you weigh. So if someone who weighs like 115 pounds, you're looking for like 0.8. I am not a math major, you guys. Y'all know this if you know me at all. And if someone who weighs like 115 pounds, you're looking at anywhere between 92 up to 115 grams of protein in a day. Now, where the caveat on that comes into play is anything above 140 grams of protein, it gets really challenging to get in that amount of protein. And I have found working with women, especially in this phase of life, that at about 140 grams, if you are able, like if you're someone as you're doing the math, you're like, oh man, I would need a whole lot of protein. Cap yourself around 140. All right. So if you're doing the math and it's like 160, 200 grams, just 140 is a great number to aim for. Anything above that is going to be very challenging to hit, and it's going to feel frustrating, and it's just a lot of food to consume. Two, you're still going to see significant changes and differences if you're able to hit that goal. So I hope that was helpful. All right, that's the last thing that I wanted to touch on. I did want to mention one thing. If you are vegan or vegetarian, I will tell you it is a little bit more challenge. It can be a bit more challenging to get protein in at a lower calorie intake. Without going like overkill with a vegan kind of vegetarian lifestyle. Nothing against it at all. I just want you to know it can be a little bit more challenging because you end up with a much higher number of carbs with some of the protein options because a lot of times it's like lentils and beans and that type of thing. So it's just something to be aware of. So it can take a little bit more research to find those resources that fit into your diet best. If you are vegan or vegetarian, I will be straight up honest. I can share other amazing colleagues and friends of mine that are in this world that would be a great resource for you. That is not my personal lifestyle, and it's just not. I'm just not the best fit for guiding you on that. I will be fully transparent in that. So if you need help, if you are vegetarian or vegan for whatever reason, religious reasons or just lifestyle reasons, whatever, awesome. That's amazing. I will be more than happy to kind of guide you in the right direction for that. All right, I have a couple bonus tips, you guys. I always have bonus tips for you guys. So a couple little bonus tips, and then start thinking about your questions. I want you guys to go ahead and start commenting any questions, anything. I'm going to leave it like Q&A I'm going to probably go about 10 minutes, 10, 12 minutes of Q&A. Literally anything goes. If I don't know the answer, I will not play pretend like I do. I will figure it out for you, though. Bonus tip number 1. Ready? I have 2 really good ones tonight. No standalone carbs. What? So think about eighth grade dance party, and you're like, you see that one kid over there is like just kind of hanging out by themselves, right? Don't be that eighth grade dance party, dance, whatever kid. No standalone carbs, you guys. Always aim to eat your carbs with protein or a fat to slow down the emptying of your stomach. That's going to avoid those sugar spikes and those crashes. And if it's possible, when you sit down to your meal, all right, that should be comprised of protein, fats, and carbs, all right, if and when possible, eat your protein and your veggies. Hopefully, you have veggies on your servings as well. Eat that before you dive into the carbs. All right. Now, does that mean that you should let your lovely, yummy potatoes or oatmeal get cold? Like, do your best, okay? But if you can pair your carbs with protein or fat, it's going to slow down the emptying of your stomach. And then you're, like I said, avoiding those blood sugar spikes and crashes. All right. So that's pro tip, bonus tip number one. Bonus tip number two. This is we talk about a lot of things. You go back and watch that last video from last week. You watch this video and you're like, oh, so many things, Claire. Where do I start? Guys, just pick one thing. Just pick one thing to be adding in versus trying to do all the things. Okay. If you're feeling overwhelmed and you're thinking, like, oh my God, I have to change everything at once, everything I've been doing isn't going to work for me anymore. Guess what that's going to cause? Wait for it. Yeah, increased stress, increased cortisol. If you're stressing about food, if you're stressing about trying to change all these things, guys, take a deep breath with me. Just pick one thing. That's it. Pick one thing to add in, something that I've talked about, something that we've gone over that stands out to you. Something you think like, oh, like I can do that. Like I can just pair maybe some Greek yogurt with my coffee in the morning instead of coffee on an empty stomach. Okay, I can do that. Maybe it's the bedtime snack, right? Pick one thing to add in and just do that thing over and over and over again until it becomes a habit. Then you can add something else in. You don't need to add it all in. You don't need to make every change today overnight. All right. You will fail at that more often than not, and you're going to feel frustrated. And love, I do not want you to feel frustrated. I want you to feel empowered. I want you to feel like, yes, I'm getting a handle on like this thing. All right. Okay, I'm gonna go to Q&A. Let's see, Kim, if no standalone carbs, then what about the fruit prior? That's a very fair question. So again, caveats. One of my favorite things in the fitness and nutrition space to say when people ask questions is it depends, because everyone's body is going to be different. In this particular instance, pre-workout thing, fruit is just a simple, easy one. It's easy to grab and go. Two, it's going to be quick grabbing resources, energy stores for the body to utilize in the workout. All right. And you're prior to a workout, you really don't need like fat moving into a workout. Protein, any longer that or any closer to your workout than about 75 to 90 minutes, your body's not going to break it down to the point of even being able to utilize it. But if you're eating a protein with a carb about an hour and a half before, sure, that's fine. But right before leading into a workout, especially first thing in the morning, just a fruit is going to be a really simple option to do. So that was a great question, but you're about to use those resources and it's actually going to be beneficial to you in that workout. I hope that answers your question. Sarah, what are your favorite fiber-rich food choices besides sweet potatoes? So avocado is delicious and it is great fiber resources. It is also, don't forget, a carb, a protein, and a fat. So just being mindful of what your overall day looks like. But that is honestly that nighttime, bedtime kind of snack, 30 to 60 minutes. If you want to do like some egg whites, like a cup or half cup of egg whites and some sliced avocado, that would be a great resource as well. Oatmeal is another one. I mentioned this one on the training last week. Creatures of Habit. I'll drop it in the community. I mean, in the Creatures of Habit oatmeal. I I actually did this, I think, a couple nights ago prior to bed. I didn't do a whole packet of it because it's like 30 grams of protein in one oatmeal packet. It's awesome. But I did a half thing of it, and that was actually really good. I liked doing that. So anything that's another option would be like a whole grain, 9 grain, 7 grain toast, slice of toast in the evening, maybe with a little bit of some almond butter or peanut butter. By the way, peanut butter is not the devil, just FYI, you guys, okay? But also just dipping a tablespoon in it, that's what becomes the devil. So measure, weigh those things so you're not overdoing on that. All right. Half a banana. Yes, absolutely. Half a banana prior to work. That is a great go-to for sure. Uh love the Courtney, that's awesome. Good. I'm glad you tried it and you liked it. What other questions, you guys? I would love to be like literally anything. Like I said, I'm gonna give you guys about 10 minutes on that. Robin, cottage cheese. Yeah, we talked about that last week as well. Cottage cheese is a great go-to snack. I would add into that again, a slow digesting, maybe it's a slice of whole grain toast. Maybe it is the avocado option that Sarah was talking about. Sweet potatoes, something that's going to be the slower digesting carbohydrate. That is in particular what's going to put you into that producing the melatonin a lot more easily, and it's going to put you in that more sleepy state and allow you to fall asleep and stay asleep better for sure. Kim, before bed, I had a slice of nice. Yeah, that's awesome, Kim. I love that. Lisa says, I often wake up super early and don't get enough sleep. Is it better to try and fall back asleep or eat? I often wake up super early. So, like, are you saying you wake up super early on purpose, like your schedule requires you to wake up super early? Or are you finding that you're just like your body is waking up early? If you can clarify a little bit on that, that would be helpful. And then like how much longer would you be going back to sleep? Any other questions, guys? Sky is the limit. Making sure I didn't miss any other questions. All right, I see 18 people on right now, and I've had like 3 people ask questions. So drop some knowledge info questions that you got. Menopause. Oh, menopause is waking you up early, is that what you're saying? So I would genuinely try what I'm suggesting 30 to 60 minutes before bed is incorporating a slow digesting carbohydrate, sweet potatoes, oatmeal, any of the things that we've talked about, whole grain toast, whatever. Incorporate that about 30 to 60 minutes before bed, and maybe a small amount of protein as well. And try that over the course, I promise you, in just a week, you're going to notice a difference. So try that first. I would not necessarily recommend like waking up in the middle of the night and eating. It's kind of, I would definitely just recommend that about 30 to 60 minutes before bed would be the best option on that. What is a good rule of thumb for the right sized pre bed snack? Oh, I think I answered this, Kim, in that post that I tagged you in. You're not looking for like a whole meal, you guys. A good, like I think I gave the example on like sweet potatoes, like 2 to 3 ounces of sweet potatoes, maybe a half a cup of egg whites or a half a cup of cottage cheese, right, or Greek yogurt. If you think about the whole course of your day, if you're looking at all your day and the food that you've eaten throughout the day, and you're hitting your numbers, you're like dialing in on things, you don't need it's not like a whole meal before bed. It's just a small, that's why it's called a pre-bedtime snack. Yeah, that's a good rule of thumb. And again, you're trying to force feed a whole bunch of food into your body. So just eat a little something. I promise it's going to make a difference for sure. Um, can you recommend a good plant-based protein powder for post-workout? So I'll just recommend what I personally use. A couple of ones I personally use. I'm not like one is like quote unquote you can personally buy it from a whatever person. It's just what I personally use because I like the flavor of it, is the Arbonne protein. And I don't care if you buy it from me or anybody else. It doesn't bother me at all, any way, shape, or form. I just like the way it tastes, the way it mixes. My other newest favorite is Kevin Hart. Go figure. Kevin Hart has a protein powder. It's really, really good. Um, and you can just buy that online on, I don't know, his website, or I think maybe we got it on his website or Amazon. I forget, whichever. Um, and it's really good. And then Orgain is another option. It's not my favorite flavor tasting wise, but my boo thing works in sales and marketing for like natural and organic foods, and he gets a bunch of samples. So we get like, I just use it because it's convenient. But those are good options for sure. Hopefully that's helpful. Did I just, Patricia? Oh, Lord have mercy. Guys, I'm going to rewind to what we talked about last week and earlier in this training. High sugar, which is not slow digesting, good fiber carbohydrate, is the worst thing you could eat 30 to 60 minutes before bed. Just FYI, especially if you're struggling to fall asleep. And just in general at this phase of life. Why? Because it's going to what? Elevate our cortisol levels. We're trying to sleep, and when our cortisol levels are elevated, we're going to become insulin resistant. Our spikes and crashes are extreme. You're probably waking up in the middle of the night like, what the heck, in just sweat, frustrated that you can't fall back asleep. So that I don't condone. I don't condone ice cream as your snack before bed. Oh, Trisha, goodness. Sarah says, I do not tolerate whey, soy, or vegetarian protein powders. Perfect amino acids for pre-workout. Yeah, you can also, have you tried egg white protein? That's another one that I do. I like egg white protein as well. That's a great option. Um, all right. We're going to go about another 2 minutes here, y'all. Try the Yasso frozen yogurt bars, indulgent ice. Yep. That is, I mean, those are delicious, sure. But again, reminder, it's not that they're bad. It's not that ice cream's bad, right? It's the timing of it. All right. When we are sending our body into this extreme spike, all right, that is the worst thing that we can do before bed. All right. So just be mindful of that. Dawn, at one time I was trying to increase my calorie intake, was normally below 1,000. Oh my goodness. Okay. And it revived my metabolism, was pretty helpful. I'm looking to do that again and get back on track. Oh, yeah. So basically, Dawn, what you're talking about is reverse dieting. And that is actually part of our topic of conversation for next week. So I'm going to be talking about reverse dieting. I'm toggling between reverse dieting and the perfect sleep environment. So maybe I might do a little tag team on that. We'll see. But reverse dieting and kind of like a fat loss checklist, like not symptoms, but like if you can check all these things, then awesome, you are in a good place. If you're not checking all these things, then a reverse diet may be something that you need to look at doing. So come back next week. We'll talk about that. But yes, that is definitely important to do. Okay, Courtney. Kim, what about water right after you wake up? Is there a recommended amount? Is it important? Absolutely. Water first thing in the morning is great. You're rehydrating, replenishing your bodies. You've been in a not only a fasted state, but you've been in a dehydrated state. 10, 20 ounces, guys. Don't lose sleep over the amount, like those super pinpoint, like I promise you, no one died or didn't hit their weight loss goals or their fat loss goals by accidentally not drinking 2 to 4 extra ounces of water. So anywhere from 8 to 20 ounces. Yes, it's a range, but everybody's a little bit different. First thing when you wake up is absolutely, that's a great thing. Hopefully that's important. I'm not negating your desire to understand that. I just, yeah, having water first thing in the morning is a very awesome thing to do for the body. Rehydrate your system first things out of the gate. Okay. Any other, I mean, give like 30 more seconds. If anybody happens to be typing up a question, I'll let it come through. And then, guys, I'm going to announce. Man, I really hope the winner is on here because that's going to be such a bummer if not. But I don't know if I see her on here. Oh, man. Okay. That's all right. Okay, guys. The winner, actually, before we go there, drop a comment in the comments, you guys. If you found anything valuable, like, did you find something valuable out of tonight's training? Like, yes, super valuable. Yes, I learned something. Great stuff, whatever. Drop a quick comment in the chat. Let me know. Did you find tonight valuable, you guys? Did you learn something? Did something stand out to you? Do you feel like you're going to walk away from this with one nugget that you can incorporate, that you can begin adding in? Let me know. Hopefully I'm not frozen. Yes, good. Kim, awesome. Anything insightful that you feel like you can actually walk away from tonight? Good. Yes. I got to hear from every single person that's watching this right now, or we're not going to move. I'm not going to announce a winner. I don't think we need a winner. Yeah. Just kidding, y'all. Helpful. I hadn't realized the timing. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Pre-bedtime snack ideas. Yes, Pam. Yeah. Y'all, such a simple thing. And I feel like a lot of times, especially in the myths of all the things out there, like, what are we supposed to believe? Like, don't eat after 4 by 5 p.m. Like, the goal is to ideally stop eating like you're about an hour before bed. Like, you don't want to be pigging out on like, a steak and potatoes and broccoli like 30 minutes before you're going to bed, ideally. But it also doesn't mean that you need to like not like, oh, I can't have anything after 7 p.m. Like, if you're not going to bed until 9 or 10 or 11, have a little thing of popcorn. I think Kim and I talked about this. Popcorn is actually a slow digesting, high fiber snack option. Go for it. All right. That doesn't mean you need the extra butter movie style popcorn, right? um, love it, Trisha. Spending time intentionally thinking. Yes, I love that, Courtney. Cool, Sarah. Yeah, trying that. I think that'll be very helpful. Timing of eating. Yeah, awesome. Y'all, so good. Okay, ladies, drum roll, please. The winner of our scholarship. Congratulations. Jessica Swearingen. I'll tag you in the comments because I don't think you're on here right now, but congratulations. You won 3 months of one-on-one coaching with me on me, no cost to you. I'm super excited to work with you. Oh, it's going to be amazing. And then my partial scholarship winners, I'm going to drop this in the chat because I forgot to put it on the screen thing. Yeah, congratulations. Oh, I think a couple of you guys are actually on here. Robin, Tony, and Claudia. Congratulations, my partial scholarship winners. I will reach out to you guys on a one-on-one basis to communicate and explain what that looks like, and we'll have a conversation to touch base on all of that. So, guys, I am so excited. Congratulations, Jess. This is gonna be the most awesome 3 months together. I cannot wait to start working with you, Claudia, Tony, and Robin. Congratulations as well on that partial scholarship. Again, like I said, I'll reach out to you guys. Yay! And let you know about that. Other than that, ladies, I want to respect your time. I always want to keep these to, hour at the max. I know we kind of got started a little bit later, but I want to thank every single one of you that applied for the scholarship. Y'all, I read your posts or your comments, your stories. I read them in tears. If I could have picked all of you guys, I would have, but then I wouldn't have a job and we would be, yeah. So, but your hearts sharing that with me, like, I cannot thank you enough. And I want you to know, like, just being a part of this group, my genuine, heartfelt hope is that you guys do gain value and knowledge and insight, and you actually can really feel like you can move forward, not just with the tactile things, implementing habits and things like that, but with like a new sense around this phase, this chapter of life, that it's a beautiful phase, that it can be amazing and it doesn't have to feel sucky, and that you're not alone. There's like almost 200 ladies in this group. We're all in this together. So don't ever feel like you're alone. Don't just sit in the background, just kind of just watch. Like, invest in this group, communicate with the other ladies in this group. We are all here to support every single one of you. I love it, y'all, and I'm so, 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 so grateful for every single one of you guys. I hope y'all have an amazing night. As always, reach out to me with any questions. I'm always here for y'all, and I will see you guys again next week. Congratulations, y'all. Bye.